Solo traveling in Morocco as a Filipina woman. Okay, so I wanted to introduce myself. I am Filipina. That means I have my passport is not that well, but we get a free entry in Morocco. So I have been traveling for the last 5 years and 2 years nonstop. It's very scary to travel. There will be a lot of things that you will go through and experience. But if you are single, you have money, you don't have responsibilities, you do it, girl. You should do it. One of the countries that I have been and I get a lot of questions and I want to talk about is Morocco. So let's start from the immigration experience. Let me share a bit about my immigration experience. As a Filipina, one of the great things is that we can enter Morocco without needing a visa in advance. There's no need to file anything beforehand, which is convenient. However, the most important thing is to be prepared for the immigration officer questions when you arrive. Even though I flew from Montpellier in France and they initially assumed I was French and spoke to me in French, they did ask a lot of standard questions. They wanted to know things like what my job is, how many days I'd be staying in Morocco, what I planned to do there, and where I was staying. They were a bit strict, but not overly harsh, especially since I was coming from Europe. For Filipinos coming from the Philippines, I've heard it can be a bit more demanding. You need to have certain documents ready, like your return flight details, proof of where you're staying, and you really need to remember the name of the hotel or hostel or anything Airbnb and your itinerary. They might ask you these questions verbally just to confirm that you know your plans. Once you've answered these questions, it's usually smooth sailing from there. So that's basically my immigration experience. Have your documents ready, know your details, memorize it, and after that, it's pretty easy. Okay, so the second question is which airport did I fly into? I chose to fly into Agadir Airport to Morocco. For me, it's one of the best options because the flights are incredibly cheap. For example, flying from Montpellier, because I was coming from Montpellier, the time to Agadir only cost 20 euros. Some flights from Barcelona or Madrid is only 20 euros, but sometimes there's also 100 euros or 50. It really depends. Plus the bag because it is on top. I've also heard similar super affordable flights from Germany to Agadir or UK to Agadir. Sometimes it's 15 or 25 euros. I choose Agadir because I plan to stay by the beach. I wanted to surf and only in the south of Morocco where you can wear a bikini and have sun. And it's very okay there. It's acceptable. Okay, so I stayed in Agadir for 4 days. I remember staying in a hostel. It was okay, and I also found out that there's a nearby city. It's called Tagazout. I initially planned to stay there for 4 days, but actually I ended up staying there for a month. It's amazing. That place is amazing. If you go to Morocco, you have to go to Tagazout. It's one of the best place as for me and it's one of the safest. It's just it's very touristy, but I also like it because if it's there's a lot of tourists, it means it's safe. One of the great things about Tagazur is that you really won't feel intimidated or out of place. There's so many foreigners than locals. The atmosphere is very relaxed. People are open-minded about what you wear and you can wear even shorts, skirts or even bikinis at the beach. It's all fine. Even during Eid or Ramadan, when alcohol is generally not sold anywhere else in Morocco, Tagazur is a bit of an exemption. They do sell it there, although at a higher price. And there are private parties, even clubs to tourists. They have bouncers who manages entry. They typically block the locals from entering, which is really good. So at least we can enjoy. It's really funny because the people that you met in the club or in the bar, you will see them outside, and then yeah, it's a really good vibe. You get to have a lot of friends along the way as well. So yeah, I really like it. As for accommodation, I found it really easy to switch between hostels and Airbnb. Since I work remotely, I stayed in an Airbnb for a few days whenever I needed to do Zoom calls or focus on work. Then, when I wanted more social interaction, I'd switch to hostels. Hostels in Tagazut are really affordable, around 10 euros a night, and the crowd is usually other travelers are from Europe. So it's very friendly and open-minded environment. Third most common question that I get is renting a car in Morocco. When it comes to renting a car in Morocco, it really depends on how long you're staying and what you plan to do. In my case, since I was staying in Morocco for a longer period, like a lot of months, and I work remotely, I didn't need to rent a car right away because I didn't need to explore every single day. But if you're visiting for a shorter period, like a week or two, renting a car directly from the airport is a great idea. At the Agadir airport, for example, you can rent a car for 10 to 15 euros per day if you rent it by week or 2 weeks, which is really affordable. There is a deposit involved, and I'm gonna discuss it after because we have to really talk about it. I will cover it in the next one. The key point is that renting a car in the airport is generally cheaper than renting a car in town, which is a bit costly. Another common question that I usually get is, can Filipinos rent a car in Morocco? What are the requirements and what are the tips? One question that I often get on my social media when I was posting that I was in Morocco is that if we are allowed to rent and drive cars in Morocco. The answer is yes. It's not just for Europeans or Americans. Filipinos, Malaysians, Indonesians, and other nationalities can absolutely rent a car in Morocco and drive. Here's what you need to know. You will need to provide your passport, and do be aware that the rental company will keep your passport as a form of security. So if you're not comfortable leaving your passport, just keep that in mind. You'll also need to show your driver's license. They're also going to keep it, and they'll prepare a form and provide you with the insurance documents. These are important because if the police stop you and ask for documentation, you'll need to show these papers. In short, it's very doable for Filipinos and other nationalities to rent a car in Morocco. Just be ready with your documents and you're all set. Okay, so let's talk about the car deposit in Morocco. It's very important to talk about it. When you rent a car, you need to pay a deposit using a credit card that's in the driver's name. Typically, the deposit can range anywhere from, no, I don't know if it's 500 euros or dollars. I remember it's between 1,000, and I also did 2,000, and I also did 4,000. So it varies depending on the car and the length of the rental. The important part is that the credit card must belong to the main driver and must be presented in person. If you try to pay with someone else's card, even if it's a family member, they won't accept it. And you could lose the payment if it's on a credit card. I think you can get it again if it's credit card, but if it's debit card, it's bye-bye. You do get the deposit back at the end of the rental, but having that credit card and matching names is absolutely crucial. And just a heads up, if you use a debit card or the name doesn't match, you won't be refunded if something goes wrong. So it's super important to have a valid credit card in your name with enough funds for the deposit. Let's dive a bit deeper into the security deposit and why having the right card is crucial when renting a car in Morocco, especially for us. Most of us doesn't have a credit card, and not everyone knows about this security details, and it's definitely something that you need to be prepared of. Otherwise, you'll be spending a lot of extra expenses. When you rent a car in Morocco, especially if you book through something like booking.com and pick it up at the airport, you'll often find that the daily rates are cheaper. I have mentioned it before, but sometimes it's like 10 to 15 euros if you book for a week or two. In Tagazout, I remember I paid 35 to 40 euros a day, and it was an automatic car that already includes insurance. Okay, so going back to the deposit, you will be asked to tap your card twice. The first step is for the actual payment of the rental and any insurance you might add. The second tap is for the security deposit, which can be anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 euros, depending on the car and the rental period. It's crucial that the credit card is in the driver's name. If you're the one driving, you need to have your own credit card, your own driver's license, and your own passport. If someone else, like a family member, books the car with their credit card and they're not in their personal life, it won't be accepted. You can lose the payment if it's the debit card or credit card. It's a long process, but yeah, it's bye bye already. You cannot get it anymore. Okay, for example, my when my sister came to follow me in Morocco, she had to drive from Marrakesh to Essaouira because I was in Essaouira at that time. It was a 3 hour drive, and it was difficult to get a bus because she has a lot of luggage. I don't know why. And my brother in law booked her a car rental in Marrakesh, and she has to pick it up in Marrakesh airport. So the debit card and the credit card used for payment is my brother-in-law's name. But the one that is gonna drive in Marrakesh and the one person that's gonna get the car is my sister. This is not allowed. So the payment that my brother-in-law made was forfeited. It was gone. It's really important that you have to know all of this so you don't go through the same experience that we had. Next common question that I want to talk about is driving in Morocco. Let's talk about what it's like to actually drive in Morocco. Overall, it can be really beautiful and enjoyable experience, especially in places like Tagazout and the surrounding mountain areas. You'll see a lot of local vendors selling fresh fruits by the roadside, and you might even spot goats on the trees. Like they're hanging on the trees. I remember I saw when I was driving around Tagazout area, I saw 7 goats on the trees. They were just chilling there. It's a unique and charming sight you'll see often catch in the early morning. Driving in cities like Agadir or Tangier is okay. The drivers are respectful. There are parking spaces available, but it's limited. The overall driving vibe is quite manageable in these cities. However, driving in Marrakesh and Casablanca is completely different story. In Marrakesh, it's chaotic. The drivers are very aggressive. They don't know the traffic rules. They don't respect the traffic rules. In Casablanca, it's more intense. It's probably the toughest place to drive. I don't really recommend it, and you need to be cautious. Drivers there are very aggressive. The parking is a major challenge. You have to drive slowly and maybe avoid these cities if you're not comfortable with a hectic traffic area. I was used to driving in Philippines and it's a little bit worse than this, so I'm fine. In general, driving in Morocco can be a wonderful experience. Just be mindful which cities you're in and adjust your expectations accordingly. I wanted to talk about speed limits in Morocco as well. I want to share a quick example involving my sister again to highlight how strict the speed limits are in Morocco. When I am driving, I made sure to drive slowly and follow the exact speed limit. If it say 80, I drove at 80 or lower. There's no leniency like in some places where you can go a couple of kilometers over the limit. In Morocco, you need to be exactly or at least under the posted speed. My sister didn't take this seriously at first. She thought a few kilometers or over wouldn't matter. But in Morocco, there are radar systems and police waiting at the end of the roads. They know if you've gone even slightly over the limit. They're gonna fine you on the spot. She ended up getting caught twice for speeding and she had to pay a lot of fines. I remember it's 400 Moroccan dirhams each penalty. It's a situation where if you don't have enough cash on you, then you're in big trouble. And also, always prepare cash. You have to carry cash around. It's very cash in Morocco. The bottom line is stick to the exact speed limits in Morocco. The police are everywhere and they are very strict to enforce the rules. It's safe if you just follow the rules, their speed limit, and you don't have to pay more to spend money if you follow the rules. Okay, I will probably answer just a few more questions because the video is too long already. Next is okay, is Morocco safe for female travelers? Yes, definitely. I have been traveling around Morocco for 3 months. I have seen a lot of solo female traveling as well. I didn't really see a lot of female drivers driving, solo female drivers. I didn't really meet a lot of them. But yeah, as of my experience, it's safe. Do people harass women in Morocco? No. They are very respectful. Muslim guys. I know that I've heard a lot of bad comments, bad, reviews that Muslim men are treating some women very bad, but I don't agree. They're very good. They're very good at treating women. Maybe it's the same. Like you don't generalize everyone, but in my experience, they're very nice. They're very polite, and sometimes they even treat you better. What should women wear in Morocco? In the beach, like in Tagazout and other places, you can wear skirt or anything that you want. But in places like Marrakesh, Casablanca, I suggest you wear something covered. Is it okay to stay in hostel as a woman? Yes, definitely. I have met a lot of women solo traveling and they're staying in hostels. I've also met few staying in Airbnb, but either way they're fine. Are Riyadh safe for travelers? Yes, definitely. It's very safe and Riyadhs are beautiful. You have to experience Riyadh if you are in Morocco. When do I get my car deposit back? You will get it immediately after 3 days. Usually, in some cases, when I rented the car rental, after 2 days, it was reimbursed already. One of the guys, they give me a paper and it was like a proof that they sent to me a photo that okay, it was reimbursed. Sometimes they don't give a paper like proof, it's just automatically reimbursed to your credit card. Remember what I said earlier, you have to pay security deposit using credit card. They don't allow cash, they don't allow a debit card, just credit card. Is public transportation safe? Yes, I bus is okay. I took bus as well from Agadir to Tagazut. No, no, I didn't. I took a bus from one place in Agadir to the Agadir city. It was okay. It was also very cheap. But the main problem in Morocco is the transportation. The public transportation is general is not that efficient. So sometimes if you plan to go, if you are from one city to another city and you miss the bus, you have to wait for the next day. So a car would be really nice to have one. With the question, is public transportation safe? I think yes. I wanted to share a story when I didn't know what to do. It was my first time. I was just standing by the road because I didn't know where to get the bus. I have no idea of everything. There was a car that stopped by. There was an old man. He asked me where I'm going, and at the beginning I was okay, I don't want to talk to you. I'm really scared. And then I told him, okay, I have to go to Tagazut because I didn't have any choice. It's almost dark and I need to find a place to sleep or to stay. And he told me to 30 or 40 dirham to go to Tagazut, and I just said okay. And then I put my phone on live and I tried to be safe, and I was calling my parents. I thought I will be kidnapped or something. I was really scared, but I didn't have a choice. I really need to go to Tagazut. It's my next accommodation. Yeah, thank God I was safe, and apparently it's very normal there. So in the south, people are very kind, but in places like Marrakesh, I generally don't recommend trusting the locals. But outside, when they're living in the provinces, they're very nice. They're good people. Do I need to speak Arabic or French? I suggest yes, even just basic. It would really help you. English is okay for the tourist area, but I suggest you learn Arabic like Salam Alaikum, Shukran, um, and also French. Will people try to scam me? Yeah, all the time, especially in Marrakesh. Is Morocco expensive for solo travelers? I don't really know. So I want to say I'm living on a budget, but I'm also spending a lot because I'm traveling. So if you don't have money, just stay at home. If you want to go travel but on a budget, you can stay in hostels and always get the cheap flights. Yeah. And for the food, you can cook or you can eat outside. Actually, eating outside is also cheap, so it's fine. When I say cheap, it could be like 3 or 5 euros. Is it safe to walk alone at night? No, don't walk at night. I want to say it's safe, but no, don't. What about religion and culture rules? I suggest to be very respectful. Morocco is a Muslim country, but not that extreme. Respect the prayer times. You have to dress modestly, especially in big cities, and avoid public display of affection. No kissing. You're the guest in their country and you have to respect it. Is Morocco good for first time solo travelers? Yes, if you're adaptable. It may change you emotionally, but that's also what makes it rewarding. Morocco teaches you to be independent and fast. What surprised you the most about Morocco? Mm. How warm the people are once the trust is built. Morocco is like Philippines. Everyone is really nice, but just the people in the province. In the city, no. Behind the chaos, there's noise, markets. They're very kind. They're very hospitable as well, especially when they found out that I can speak in Arabic. They're very happy about it, and they were giving me a lot of treats and bread. I, I feel like I gained more weight there. Morocco is really intense. The men also are really intense. A lot of men are really handsome as well, so yeah, be careful. Okay, so to close this audio blog, traveling solo in Morocco is okay. I feel like everyone has to do it. If you have the capacity, you should do it. It's very safe, and yeah, it's very safe. And also you will meet a lot of people along the way, and you can be friends for life. Like me, I've met a lot of people in Morocco, and I'm still in contact with most of them, and most of them are here in Europe, so yeah, I'm happy about it. That's it. If you have any questions, kindly comment below, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.